discussion. If you're an individual, you will have 3 minutes for comments. If you are speaking on behalf of a group, you will have 6 minutes for comments. Speakers should move closer to the podium when their item is being presented by staff. Speakers should identify themselves clearly for the record by stating their name and address. Each speaker should be given respectful and courteous attention. The board may ask questions of speakers or staff members. Information such as pictures, site plans, letters, etc., presented at a public hearing will be kept as part of the public record. If you have something on your cell phone you would like us to see, we would love to see it, but you have to promise to send a copy to staff after the meeting. Otherwise, we have to keep your cell phone for the record, and you probably don't want to give that to us. I will then ask for a motion from the board. Once the motion has been made and seconded, discussion will be closed to the floor. Following board discussion, a vote will be taken. During voting, board members who do not cast objecting votes are considered to have voted in support of the motion. Any person aggrieved by any decision of the Board of Adjustment may, within 15 days, file an appeal to the Board of County Commissioners through the Planning and the Development Division of the Development Services Department. Okay, we're ready for our first item.
Good evening. For the record, Hillary Payton, Planning and Development. Excuse me. Item number 1 is a variance request for 793 Kissimmee Place located in the Hollowbrook subdivision. The request is for a side street setback reduction from 20 feet to 0 feet for a privacy fence in the General Homes Plan development. The subject property is a corner lot and as such considered to have 2 front yards for setback purposes. The front of the house faces Kissimmee Place. This North St. Lucie Drive side is where the variance is being sought. The request is to replace an existing wood privacy fence with a 6-foot white vinyl privacy fence up to the property line, encroaching entirely into the side street setback. The proposed privacy fence encroaches into a utility easement, and that building permitting will be required to meet the criteria for placement with an estoppel letter. The proposed privacy fence would abut the sidewalk and be approximately 10.5 feet from the edge of pavement. Traffic engineering has no objection to the placement of the fence as it relates to site visibility. This concludes my presentation. I'm available for any questions.
Okay, we have questions for staff. Okay, is the applicant present? Good evening. Come on down. When you get up here, if you state your name and address for the record, we got to get you on the speaker so they can record you.
Sorry. It's Maria I'm the contractor on the line fence. So I'm here on behalf of my client at 793 Kissimmee Place. So this client has an existing fence.
Okay, ma'am, what's your address?
My address,
Yes.
600 Northern Way, Winter Springs, 32708,
Okay, what's your last name?
Aravallo.
Okay. Okay, what would you
So
like?
this is to replace the existing fence and putting it right back where it's at. The thing with this particular property is that the fence is already backing up to the HOA wall. So the rule, I guess, is that it can't go out, but I'm not sure if they've ever had a variance. This is a new homeowner. So even if you take the fence out, you still are going to face that wall, which belongs to the HOA.
So you're saying the wall runs up to the sidewalk?
Yeah.
And the fence just
It's
teed into the
like
wall?
it just butts up to right to the, it butts up right to the HOA wall. So we're just basically looking to replace the existing fence, because regardless of whether my fence goes up there or further in, you're still going to have that wall there when you turn and look left.
Okay. Is there anything on the inside of the fence that would prevent it from being moved back?
They did have a shed there before. They've since removed it since they've purchased this property. And they do have an open pool, which is why they want a little bit more room and to put the fence back where it's at, so.
How much room is between the pool and the fence?
I'm going to say probably where it's sitting at right now to the fence, to the pool, maybe about 12 feet.
Okay.
So on that side of the street, where the fence goes out, there's an existing double drive gate, and then on the side street is where the fence runs, and it meets the HOA wall.
Right. I understand, I'm just trying to understand,
Yeah.
make sure I'm clear. Because
Yeah.
these site plans and pictures don't always show us everything.
Exactly.
I was going to ask staff, if you can you zoom back in on that last picture that you had? It was a nice overhead tight picture. It was the next one before that. Keep going. Do you have a tighter? Yeah. Ma'am, can you point out, okay. Can you point out, that fence right there is the one that we're talking about that's
That's the
currently
HOA,
existing?
yeah.
That's the HOA fence?
Yeah, it is, and it runs all the way down
The HOA
Yeah.
wall runs under the trees going towards
Exactly.
the top right.
And that runs parallel to Dodd Road?
Correct. That
Okay.
is on the main road, correct. That belongs to the HOA.
All right.
And the fence she's talking about replacing is the one by the sidewalk on the bottom
I
left.
see it, yeah.
So it literally, like, it just meets up, it just butts up to the HOA perimeter.
And we're just replacing the fence, correct?
Yes. we're
Staff,
just replacing.
is there anything that we have, anything on that property that shows previous, a previous agreement that we had or an approval that we have for a variance on this?
There are no previous variances for this property. However, the fence that she's addressing is the subdivision fence that's in that tract that's owned by the HOA,
Okay.
right along Dodd Road.
Okay,
And that's something that's approved by the BCC when they approve the subdivision plan.
okay.
So the wall was approved by the board.
It is.
Right.
It's on different property. Okay. Okay. Any questions for the applicant's representative?
How tall, did you say that?
It's just a standard 6-foot high.
Standard 6 foot, thank
Yeah,
you.
it's just a standard.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anyone to speak in support of the request? Is there anyone to speak in opposition to the request? Okay, do we have a motion?
I'll move to approve.
A motion to approve, do we have a second?
I'll second it.
We have a second, any discussion? All in,
The fence, though, make sure it's going in the exact same footprint.
right, it's
of
going,
the-
they're asking to place it back exactly
All
where
right,
it's at right now.
thank you, Mr. Chair. Excellent.
So, I normally don't like them that close to the sidewalk.
I don't either.
But the wall's sticking out right now.
If it's already, exactly.
All right. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries unanimously. Good luck with your fence. All right, next item, please.
Item number 2 is a variance request for 533 Lagoon Drive located in the Stillwater subdivision. The request is for a side street setback reduction from 25 feet to 18 feet for a privacy fence in the R1AA zoning district. The subject property is a corner lot and is considered to have 2 front yards for setback purposes. The front of the house faces Lagoon Drive. Both sides really face Lagoon Drive, the north side as well as the side where the variance is being sought. The request is to demolish an existing conforming privacy fence and construct a 6-foot wood privacy fence 7 feet into the side street setback. The proposed privacy fence is 18 feet from the sidewalk and 29 feet from the edge of pavement. The proposed privacy fence encroaches into a drainage and utility easement, and that building permitting will be required to meet the criteria for placement with an estoppel letter. Traffic engineering has no objection to the placement of the fence as it relates to site visibility. The Stillwaters Homeowners Association allows for a 15-foot setback for fences with the approval of a variance from the Board of Adjustment. 2 letters of support have been received from affected neighbors. This concludes my presentation. I'm available for any questions.
Okay, any questions for staff?
Yes, I have a question.
Yes.
You said that there was an existing fence in that,
There is an existing fence there, yes. I can show you in this photo right here.
all right, and can you please clarify the location of the proposed fence relative to the existing fence?
Yes, if you look at the site plan, you can see the location of the fence. They are bumping it out a little bit, I believe, from the existing location.
The green line, that's the existing or
The
proposed?
existing is the proposed. If you see, there's like a lighter line that's behind it. It's like kind of the yellowish
About
color.
2 feet or so further in.
Okay.
You see it? It's right here, is the existing,
Got it.
they're pushing
All
out to
right.
that.
Thank you.
Any other questions for staff? Okay, is the applicant present? Good evening. If you could state your names and address for the record?
Yes, my name is James Arig, at 533 Lagoon Drive.
All right, is there anything you'd like to add to staff's presentation?
The only thing that I'm like to add is that I'm just trying to match up to an existing abutting fence. It's going to give it a little more uniform look. If you see where the existing fence is, the neighbor bumps out, and I'm just matching along where the neighbor's fence goes. You can see that little bit of a bump out there.
Right, I see it.
I'm just matching that. and I'm going to come along up to toward the front of the house.
Question for staff, do we know if the neighbor has a variance for their fence?
I did not find one.
I'm not hoping to cause them any
No,
problems.
I'm just trying to get all the facts.
Yeah.
Okay.
Does the, your neighbor, I believe it's going to be 534 Lagoon, have you talked to him about it?
Can you show me on the map where that is?
I'm sorry, correction, 557 Lagoon. It's going to be southeast corner.
Okay, yes, I knocked on their door first, and they did not answer the door the day I was going around to talk to neighbors.
Okay.
The neighbor whose fence you want to tie into, that's Holmes, the one who wrote the letter supporting you?
Yes, the one behind is the one that wrote the letter of support.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other question for the applicants? All right, thank you.
All right, thank you very much.
Is there anyone to speak in support of the request? Is there anyone to speak in opposition to the request? Okay, do we have a motion?
Move to approve.
Motion to approve, do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, any discussion? Okay, all in favor of the motion, say aye. Aye. All opposed, motion carries unanimously. Good luck with your fence. All right, next item.
Item number 3 is 2260 Hibiscus Drive, located in the Lake Brantley Isles subdivision. The request is for a side street setback reduction from 25 feet to 1 foot for a privacy fence in the R1 zoning district. The subject property is a corner lot and is considered to have 2 front yards for setback purposes. The front of the house faces Hibiscus Drive. The Azalea Drive side is where the variance is being sought. The proposed privacy fence would be approximately 1.5 feet from the sidewalk and 17 feet from the edge of pavement. The side street, Azalea Drive, is a dead-end street that ends at the walking trail that runs along the rear of the subject property. Traffic engineering has no objection to the placement of the fence as it relates to site visibility. This concludes my presentation. I'm available for any questions.
Okay, and just to clarify, there's not an existing fence there?
There is not an existing
I didn't
fence there,
see one in the
correct?
pictures, I just wanted to make sure.
That's correct.
Okay. Okay, is the applicant, or any questions for staff? Okay, is the applicant present? Good evening, if you state your name and address for the record.
Good evening. To start off, thank you all for being here and for hearing me out and giving me the opportunity as well. And my name is Jennifer Sosa. Address is 2260 Hibiscus Drive. Zip
Okay.
code 32779.
Is anything you'd like to add to staff's presentation?
I am requesting 1 feet from the sidewalk that's facing in towards the house with the privacy fence. Due to, I did send pictures on the packets that I had about if I do expose a lot of land, there is a lot of people that hang out there, they walk their dogs, they throw their trash there, and even mopeds and motorcycles, they burn my lawn, it's lawn damage, and eventually I'm into woodworking, and I do want to build a shed right there on the side, if it's possible.
Well, that's a different issue than us, but you're going to have to keep your shed at least 10 feet off your property line if it's under 200 square feet. So it's not going to be able to go right up on the property line.
Would I be able to park a boat if I purchase a boat on that side, if it's possible?
I've let you know what the ordinance
You can
says
call
about
me and
the
we can
shed.
talk about it.
You can talk to them about
Yeah, that's-
everything else.
That's her domain.
So,
Just give me a call and talk about it.
Sure. And
but more likely your shed will, unless you get a variance from us, will have to be at least 10 feet off the property line.
another variance.
Yes, all right.
And also, I'm not obstructing any view. I do reside in the corner with 2 dead end, as you stated as well. And I'm not obstructing any view. I'm not trying to cause any problems as well.
Okay.
That concludes it.
All right, any questions for the applicant?
Is the 1 foot that you're requesting because you just want to go ahead and just get as much, maximize your property value as much as you can for the back? Is there anybody else in your neighborhood that's around you that may have, and also that may have a fence, second of all, and first of all, and second of all, well, there's my answer. What type of fence are you erecting?
It's vinyl, 6 feet
Okay.
high. And that neighbor is across the street, and the only neighbor that's next to me is the one on the left there.
Okay. And that's also, you're fenced off there?
I'm sorry?
It's fenced, there's a fence between you and your neighbor?
Yes, that's their
Okay.
fence.
Thank you.
You got it.
Any other questions for the applicant? All right, thank you.
No, thank you all.
Is there anyone to speak in support of the request? Is there anyone to speak in opposition to the request? All right, do we have a motion?
I'll move to approve, sir.
You have a motion approved, we have a second.
Second.
Okay. Just under discussion point, I'm really, you're new to the board, but I'm really not in favor of, fences dead up on top of sidewalks. I know from experiences even, there's a walking trail there and people ride bikes and stuff on them and people ride down the sidewalks and it's real easy to brush up into a fence that's right there at your elbow. I prefer more space, even safety, just besides aesthetics. But that's my position. I just don't know.
I hear you. I was looking at the picture of the sidewalk, though. It does not look like a uniform, conformed sidewalk, normal side of a sidewalk on that side that she was talking about, though. Like that right there. Are we considering that little piece of concrete the sidewalk?
Yes, that's it.
I mean,
That's how, sounds like that's how people are accessing the walking trail behind it.
If I may, I would like to address something you said about the traffic, people going by, scraping by and thing. Seeing as how this is a little portion of a street that just bumps up, it dead ends right there into the backyard of two homes on Ludlow Drive. Realistically speaking, I don't think that stretch of sidewalk sees a lot of pedestrian traffic that would be affected by that. I don't know how many people a day use that sidewalk, but it's probably in the low single digits.
Right. No, I get y'all's position. I just want to just put out there that if you're both in favor of it's going to pass, so it doesn't, my position on it's not, but I'm just letting you know where I stand. It's been a long-standing
know. I've worked with you
position
long
of
enough that
mine
I
for a
know.
long time, so it's nothing new.
It's no
All right,
secret.
any more discussion?
Sir.
All right. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
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 All right, all opposed, aye. Motion carries 2-1. Enjoy your fence.
I thought I had you. I thought I swung you on that one,
Okay.
but no.
All right, next item, please.
Item number 4 is a variance request for 1210 Cheshire Road located in the English Estates subdivision. The request is for a side street setback reduction from 25 feet to 0 feet for a privacy fence in the R1AA zoning district. The subject property is a corner lot and is considered to have 2 front yards for setback purposes. So the front of the house faces Cheshire Road. The Derbyshire Road side is where the variance is being sought. The request is to replace an existing non-conforming fence encroaching wholly into the side street setback. The privacy fence is approximately 3.3 feet from the sidewalk at the closest point and 20 feet 8 inches from the edge of pavement. The proposed privacy fence encroaches into a utility easement, and at building permitting will be required to meet the criteria for placement with an estoppel letter. Traffic engineering has no objection to the placement of the fence as it relates to site visibility. A letter of support was received recently from an unaffected neighbor at 2200 Falmouth Road and has been provided to the board for your consideration. This concludes my presentation. I'm available for any questions.
On that, is that I was trying to look, is that a sidewalk?
Yes.
Yeah, I thought it was, okay. And do we know how far off that sidewalk that is?
So the sidewalk,
So
it kind of curves, right, and at the closest point, it's 3.3 feet. I'm not sure how far it is on the furthest side.
Okay. Any questions for staff?
Yes, so you said 3.3 feet
Correct.
away from the existing sidewalk and proposed is 1 foot. That's,
No, it's 1 foot from the property
0
line.
feet.
Or 0 feet from the property line.
Right, from the property line.
The sidewalk's not on the property line on this, it kind of meanders.
So where is the location of the proposed fence relative to
They're
the?
proposing for it to be right on their side street property line. But it's approximately 3.3 feet from the sidewalk at the closest point.
So relative to the existing fence, it's right on top of the existing fence?
It
or?
would be in the same footprint.
All right, thank you.
Any other questions for staff? Okay, is the applicant present? Good evening. Please state your name and address for the record.
Michael Carroll, 1210 Cheshire Road, Maitland.
All right, is there anything you'd like to add to staff's presentation?
Staff's done an excellent job. We want to replace an existing footprint to clarify that. The sidewalk does curve a little bit. It's about 3.5 sounds almost exactly right, and maybe closer to 5 at the further end. We want to replace the rather old wooden fence with a 6-foot vinyl, and we have an unenclosed pool inside. I think the drawing showed that. And our septic tank's well positioned on the hand drawing, which I apologize for. But the drain field does come within a couple of feet of the current fence line. When I sunk the legs for a swing set, I got pebbles about 4 inches down, so it's rather gently set. And it kind of lines up with a neighbor's fence, and there are 2 within a couple blocks that have had variances on corner lots to encroach in, although I'm not certain if quite this much.
Okay.
And I'm glad to answer any questions the board might have.
So you're saying you'd rather not put your fence post in the middle of your septic field? I get you.
Yeah, if possible.
Right through the pipe, that's where I would drill it.
Well,
Guaranteed.
We're going to go for the exact same holes that are there now. Although those posts were there, this fence was replaced when the drain field and septic were replaced a few years ago.
Okay. Any questions for the applicant? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anyone to speak in support of the request? Is there anyone to speak in opposition to the request? Okay, do we have a motion?
Move to approve.
Motion to approve, do we have a second?
Second?
All right, any discussion? All in favor of the request, say aye. Aye. All opposed, motion carries 3-0. Enjoy your fence. All right, next item.
For the record, Angie Califer with Planning and Development. Item number 5 is a request for a side yard south setback variance from 20 feet to 10 feet for a detached garage in the RC1 Country Homes District located at 24 South Stonegate in Riversbrook First Edition subdivision. The proposed detached garage will be 806 square feet and will encroach 10 feet into the required side yard south setback. Letters of support were received from 2 of the surrounding neighbors. And there have not been any prior variances for the subject property, and this concludes my presentation.
Okay, any questions for staff? Okay, is the applicant present?
Yes.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Okay, please state your name and address for the record.
Yeah, Benjamin Abernethy, 24 Stonegate South.
Is there anything you'd like to add to staff's comments?
No, and the reason, well, yes, I should say. The reason I'm pushing it towards the east, there should be some pictures that I attached. There's a large live oak, not that picture, there's some other pictures. There's a large live oak closer to the fence line. You can kind of see it behind the house to the left of the boat. So I'm trying to stay out of the live oak. There's the live oak.
Happy birthday, Hillary. Thank you.
So I'm trying to stay outside of the live oak footprint, the canopy and the root system, and then also my septic drainage field. So the proposed garage structure would end up, basically around where these pine trees are, instead of, if I have to push it over here, which I will if I have to, but I'd end up moving my drainage field and then also get into the canopy of that tree and the root system. But I'm still maintaining a 10-foot setback from the property line. And really, the only neighbor that I'm affecting provided a letter, this guy next to me, and then also the guy across the street. The two neighbors that'll see it the most both provided letters.
Okay. All right, any questions for the applicant? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anyone to speak in support of the request? Is there anyone to speak in opposition to the request? Okay, we have a motion.
You go. I've made all of them.
I move to approve.
We have a motion to approve the request.
I will second that.
We have a second. Any discussion? All in favor of the motion, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carries 3-0. Enjoy your drive. Good luck.
Thank you.
All right, next item.
Item number 6 is a request for A side street west setback variance from 20 feet to 10 feet for a privacy fence in the R1BB Single Family Dwelling District located at 8101 Lazy Bear Lane and at the Enclave at Aloma subdivision. The subject property is a corner lot and considered to have 2 front yards for setback purposes. The front of the house faces Lazy Bear Lane and Pleasant Pine Circles where the variance is being sought. Traffic engineering has no objection to the placement of the fence as it relates to site visibility. The HOA, the homeowners association, has approved the applicant's request for the placement of the fence. The proposed fence will be 10 feet from the sidewalk and 21 feet from the edge of pavement. And there was a previous variance approved by the board in June of this year from 20 feet to 15 feet for a privacy fence. This concludes my presentation.
Okay. Any questions for staff? Okay.
Yes, I have a question.
Yes, go ahead.
You said there was a previous variance granted in June for a 15-foot setback?
Yes,
And the setback being asked for now is 10 feet?
correct.
Uh,
They want to go
was-
5 feet,
was-
closer.
Okay. Was any reason given why the extra 5 feet was
It's in the
required?
variance criteria, they, landscaping, you'd have to ask the applicant.
We can ask when it comes up.
Also, another question. In the event that this variance is denied, is the pre-existing one, is that
Yes.
still valid?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, a variance runs the life of the land. Once it's approved, it doesn't change unless they come back and get it. Nobody asks for a variance to decrease their rights. Everybody's variance is always to give them more than they have.
Naturally, okay.
Mr. Chair, is this one of the ones that we had previously, when we granted the variance, that we had done kind of an addendum to it, where they were asking for more? I don't recall.
Remember, I might have been gone. I think June when I was out of town, and that was
Okay.
Mr. Hadley's.
I'll ask. Okay.
If I'm not mistaken. I think that's when I was gone.
Okay.
Okay, any more questions for staff? Okay, is the applicant present?
The applicant is present via Zoom, and she does have the ability to speak now.
Okay. Will the applicant please identify yourself with your name and address?
Mrs. Nicholson, you are unmuted and you can speak now.
Year and a half later, we're still figuring it out. Good old Zoom.
She's unmuted. She has her hands up. She's available to speak.
Okay.
We can go to the next item. and-
Okay,
and
let's-
Call her and see if we can.
Right, see if we can get her somehow to speak. Maybe she walked away for a moment. I don't know. Let's go to the next
Hold on.
item. We'll
Hold on, she
return.
may, Mrs. Nicholson, are you ready to speak? Let's go to the next one.
All right, let's go to the next. I don't want to keep everybody else waiting. If we figure it out.
Okay.
Okay, let's go to item 7. We'll
Okay.
come back to this one last.
All right, item number 7 is a request for a side street west setback variance from 25 feet to 7.5 feet for a single-family dwelling in the R1 Single Family Dwelling District located at 3661 Lincoln Street. The subject property is a corner lot and is considered to have 2 front yard setbacks. The front of the house will face North Lincoln Street. The undeveloped Second Avenue north side is where the variance is being sought. The proposed single-family residence will be approximately 2,613 square feet and will encroach 17.5 feet into the required side street west setback. The side street runs along the undeveloped Second Avenue, which is an undeveloped road. The subject property is a parcel of record that predated the subdivision regulations located within the Midway target area, which was designated by Seminole County in order to promote new housing opportunities. 2 letters of support were received. One of the letters is from the property owners directly south of the property where the variance is being sought. However, the second letter of support did not have an address. Based on the stated findings, staff recommends approval for the request, and this concludes my presentation.
Okay. Just note, I'm familiar with the area, and almost all the old properties are they're long and narrow. It's hard to fit houses on them without variances. The houses back then were a lot smaller than what's being built today. Okay, any questions for staff? Okay, is the applicant present? Good evening, you state your name and address?
How you doing? My name is Davion Hampton. My address is 1211 Arbor Lake Circle, Sanford, Florida, 32771.
Okay. Are you the applicant or your representative?
I am
You the owner?
the applicant, however you want to put it,
All above. Okay, I'm just checking.
Yes, sir.
There's nothing wrong with your representative, I just want to be clear.
Yes, sir.
I didn't see your name on that, my fault. Okay. What would you like to tell us that staff hasn't told us?
Well, pretty much, the old antiquated plot plans that's out of Midway, is an undeveloped road. You already got a shed built right in the middle of the road. What they talking about as a road, I mean, it's just, I tried to go for to get rid of it, vacate. But the county said they might want to come back later and just use it for drainage.
It's not your shed, right?
Huh?
It's not your shed.
No,
right?
it's not my
Okay.
shed.
It won't be your problem.
No, and plus I own 3700 Main Street,
Okay,
the one directly behind it. This one.
gotcha. Okay, anything else you'd like to tell us?
That's pretty much it.
Okay, any questions for the applicant? Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I have a question.
Oh, sir, one
One
question.
question. You said you also own 3700 Main Street. That's the lot directly to the south,
Yes, sir.
and that's one of the letters we got?
Yeah, from my brother, yeah.
Did you just submit a letter in support of your own application?
No, I'm not the applicant, OIG is a builder that's building on this.
Okay.
So I'm representing him. I'm selling it.
That's what I was asking.
Yeah,
You
okay.
own the property, or are you representing?
Oh, yeah, well, I'm how you
Okay.
want it, representation, or how you want to call it, I don't know. I'm sorry, guys.
That's okay, because I saw OIG Homes on our sheet, that's why I was asking.
Oh, yeah, but it's TD Bar Construction.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Gotcha. So your brother wrote a letter of support to the property behind
sir.
you, but it's not your property.
No, this is,
Gotcha.
yes.
Does that clarify your question?
Okay. All right.
Yeah, and then the address she's talking about is, the other one is the guy, not the lot here, but is Mr. Emery Green owned about 7 or 8 lots. That's who wrote the letter of support for all the other empty parcels on Lincoln Street.
All right.
Okay, any other questions for the applicant? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anyone to speak in support of the request? Is there anyone to speak in opposition to the request? Okay, do we have a motion?
Move to approve.
Motion to approve, do we have a second?
Second?
Any discussion? All in favor of the motion, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Good luck. Happy building. All right, item 8.
We're going to go ahead and go to 8? Okay.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and do the other one last.
All right, item number 8 is a request for a side street west setback variance from 15 feet to 11 feet for a privacy fence in the PD Plan Development District located at 3562 Lazy River Terrace in the Riverside Reserve subdivision. The subject property is a corner lot and considered to have the 2 front yard setback for setback purposes. Traffic engineering has no objection to the placement of the fence as it relates to site visibility. And the proposed fence will be 5 feet from the sidewalk and approximately 13 feet from the edge of pavement. There have not been any prior variances for the subject property. This concludes my presentation.
Okay. Any questions for staff? Is there a house on the property now, I'm assuming? Since we're going to put a fence up? Doesn't mean there is.
There has to be before they can place the fence. We won't let them do the fence.
Well, I've seen
First,
people
but-
fencing wooded lots.
They're not supposed to. They don't. So.
Okay. Is the applicant present? Good evening. Oh, there we go.
There you go, yeah.
There, that clears it up. All right. State your name and address for the record.
My name is Tanisha Scott, and my address is 3562 Lazy River Terrace in Sanford, Florida, 32771.
Okay. What would you like to tell us?
All we were doing, I'm originally from Orlando, so when we got here and bought the corner lot, no one told us that we couldn't have like the fence away from the house. So as we were getting an estimate for the for the fence, they told us that our fence would be right up on our patio. And we have a 4-year-old, and I didn't want the fence being so close for anyone to hop over the fence, or they can hop over and be straight into our patio or near our house. And we just wanted to back it up just a little bit.
Okay. Any questions for the applicant? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone to speak in support of the request? Is there anyone to speak in opposition to the request? Okay, do we have a motion?
Move to approve, Mr. Chair.
Okay, do we have a second?
Second.
Motion to approve?
Second.
We have a second. Any discussion? All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries 3-0. Good luck to you. Enjoy your fence.
Thank you.
We have
Oh.
the applicant for number 6 on the phone.
Okay, let's go back to number 6.
And what we're going to do is we're going to do top line technology, and
We're going to hold your phone to the
I was going
microphone.
to say, welcome to 2021.
I have you on speaker.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
And so we've made your request, which is at 8101 Lazy Bear Lane, that you're wanting to get a side street setback variance from 20 feet to 10 feet for privacy fence.
Yes, please.
So we're going to see if the board has any questions for you.
Okay,
Okay, thank you.
okay, first thing is please state your name and address for the record.
Yes, my name is Helen Nicholson. My husband is Francis Nicholson. He's also with me. And we live at 810 Lazy Bear Lane, Park, 32792.
Okay, what do you want to tell us that they have not told us already?
Okay, well, I think I said everything in the letter, but just in summary. Originally, I applied for a 15 feet setback. And then when we got the landscapers out, we realised that it was insufficient, so we needed to make it slightly bigger, which is why there's the second. So I've reapplied again, and gone through the whole process again. The setback that we're seeking now is has the full support of our HOA, and it has the full support of all our immediate neighbours to the side and behind. And it would be in keeping with the fences that our neighbours opposite to us have, so cosmetically it would be fine. And the reason we need it is because we need for privacy and security primarily, but we also now have a dog, and it would give him the yard to play in.
Okay, that last part I had trouble hearing. Why are you asking for the extra 5 feet?
Because when the landscapers came out, the fencing company came out, we realised that 5 feet wasn't sufficient space from the edge of the house. It would actually there wouldn't be sufficient space between the patio area and the fence for even the lawnmower to go down. I haven't appreciated that. It was my mistake. I've got my measurements wrong. That was my...
All right.
Why was it not sufficient space, though? That's what I'm not understanding, is you said it wasn't sufficient to what?
It was too narrow. The fence is already inside it. The distance between the fence and the patio would be so narrow that
Okay.
we wouldn't be able to get the lawnmower down there, and there's the problem of landscaping and so on. So, and also what we have now is in keeping with what the house is opposite. So cosmetically it will be better now. Because they've got the same sort of distance away from the house to 10 feet, and that we've now applied for.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you.
all right. Do we have any questions for the applicant? Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
All right.
Please
Is there
just-
anyone to speak in support of the request? Is there anyone to speak in opposition to the request? Okay, do we have a motion? I'll make a comment while you consider. I'm very inclined to leave it as is. She already has a 15 feet, it was already approved, it has a variance, new subdivision. I'm looking at the, like, just in that picture, it'll be a lot closer to the road than that fence next door. There's a significant difference. Her house is almost where that fence next door is.
I agree.
I agree with her having the variance that she has, obviously that was approved, so that, but I don't know that it needs to be out any further than what it is.
I make a motion to disapprove, sir.
So we have a motion to deny the request?
Deny the request.
Okay. Do we have a second?
Second.
And we have a second. Any discussion? All in favor of the motion say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. The request is denied. Ma'am, you have 15 days to appeal our decision to the Board of County Commissioners. If you choose to do so, contact staff and they will help you with the appeal.
Thanks.
Okay?
Thank you.
All right. Next thing is the minutes. Any additions, changes?
Move to
deletions?
approve.
Motion to approve. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second. Any discussion? All in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Minutes are approved. Anything else for the good of the order that we need to talk about before next time?
No, sir.
Birthday girl escaped.
I allowed her, yes.
Yes, I see
Yes.
that. Before I could sing happy birthday to her and embarrass her thoroughly on television.
Hence why I allowed her to get
And
on.
Mr. Hadaway's son is graduating boot camp tomorrow, and he's on the way right now to go see his son, so he couldn't be here tonight.
None of the white fences would have passed if it had been, so.
All right. All right, we are adjourned. See you next month.